Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app, O'Connor and Company.
It is 5:07, and I got to tell you, there's a whole lot going on today that you're going to want to be on top of, not least of which, I mean, as soon as you mention what day it is, it opens up a whole can of worms for people. First, it's Friday, which, of course, Patrice Onwuka means that we have to wish everybody what now?
Happy Friday, everybody.
There it is. We got that out of our system, thank God. All right, but then it's not just any Friday, Patrice. It's the 13th. It's Friday the 13th. Does that put a damper on the Friday thing? Are you more sort of...
No, the power of Friday is stronger than the superstitions of Friday the 13th.
I see. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So it's a superstition to not like the 13th day when it falls on a Friday, but it's not superstitious to insist on saying Happy Friday on the top and bottom of every hour.
Friday is about joy and enthusiasm for the upcoming weekend. Larry.
That's fair. All right.
But then of all
but
the
here's
days,
the other thing. It's not just Friday, and it's not just Friday the 13th, but it's the Friday the 13th of February, which means tomorrow is
Valentine's Day.
Oh my gosh, you were just overflowing with excitement today. You're all dressed in red from head to toe. You should see her. I love love too, but this whole, first of all, I'm not one of those curmudgeons who's like, I'm not going to get anything from my wife on Valentine's Day because it's all made up by Hallmark. Oh, get over yourselves, everybody, okay? I'm not like that. Uh-huh. I do acknowledge the day, and it's fun, and it's, any day to be even extra more romantic with your sweetheart is always a good excuse. Yes. I always steal some extra kisses on Valentine's Day. I get a certain allotment every day, and I usually go overboard and try to steal more on Valentine's Day. That said, you are like taking it to the 10th, 11th degree, 12th degree. You are out of control so far already, and it's only 5:08 this morning.
I know. Well, you know what? Good luck trying to rein me back in. I love love. I love my sweetheart. We're celebrating 10 years of marriage this year. We're already on our road to 10. Follow us on social media for some early pictures. But, it's just a nice time to remember the loved one. And you don't have to just have a person who is a spouse or a partner. You can we have kids, we have our parents, they're our brothers and sisters. All of that love matters at this point.
Now hold on, downshift a bit here. This is about romantic love. It's not just about
primarily,
love in general.
You don't you give your kids a Valentine's Day candy? I have some for my kids.
Well, my kids are literally married and having their own children at this point. They're young adults.
A nice note from Dad.
When they were little, I suppose they did get little Valentines from Dad. But
exactly.
All right. So your boys are going to get all into.
They're getting chocolate. They're getting gifts. They're not listening now, so they don't know. But they're going to get a nice little surprise they don't know about yet. But we're going to go out to dinner. We're going to dress up as they love to in their little suits. We're going to have fun this weekend.
So for the first time, I've actually gotten Meredith a Valentine's present. But I shouldn't say for the first time. But since we've gotten married, we've sort of had this deal where we love experiences. We love going on adventures. And so we go on very nice, elaborate cruises to places all around the world.
Nice.
And we really love that. And when we're there, like when our cruise last year started in Rome. And so we got to Rome a couple of days early, and we had this chef's tasting dinner. It took 3 hours, this dinner.
Oh, my goodness.
Really romantic in Rome with the beautiful place and the wine pairings and all that. And so during the course of the 3-hour dinner at various times, one of us will look at the other and say, Happy Valentine's Day, even though it was, in November, right? Or we'd say happy anniversary, because that's sort of the deal. We will overindulge and splurge on things that are, yes, a little pricier than would normally fit in our budget, but it's a special occasion, and so that's what we usually do. This year, I've actually gotten her something specifically for Valentine's Day.
All right. Is it shiny? Is it something she puts over her shoulder or on her feet or on her body? Does it fall into any of those categories?
It does. It is something to put on her body. So for Christmas this year, and we usually do the same thing for Christmas, but this year we got each other a couple of little cute things for Christmas, including I got her a pair of very nice jammies for Christmas.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
They were from J. Crew, and they had this very cool pattern, like a zebra with a Christmas bow around her neck. It was very cute.
Fun.
And we were celebrating Christmas over at her sister's house, and her sister looked at those jammies and got all excited. And she said, are those print fresh jammies? Which they were not, because I had never heard of print fresh jammies. And Meredith said, no, they're not print fresh jammies. They're really nice, though. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell is a print fresh jammy? Now I'm annoyed. I thought I went overboard because these are very nice jammies. But apparently print fresh jammies are like the Instagram trend within the social media feed of my wife and her sister. So that I did exactly what you're doing right now. In fact, inadvertently, we're doing a really, really expensive free advertisement for Print Fresh right now. So
I know,
and I didn't mean to.
Right.
So send us a check, Print Fresh. So
please.
I go to Print Fresh, and I could see these are very cute, and these are very much. I can see why Meredith would like the Print Fresh jammies. So I got her a pair of Print Fresh jammies for Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And I got the little gift bag for them.
Very cute, actually.
I am
really
very excited that I'm getting her a little pair of jammies for Valentine's Day. And they're cute, and she's going to love them. But it's weird because I've never, in over 10 years, I have not gotten her a Valentine's present and hid it in the house and done the whole surprise thing. So I hope I can pull it off tomorrow.
You can do it, Larry. Make sure that you decorate the box nicely and, puts it. I know you've already got that covered.
Putting more
the chocolate
pressure on me. We can decorate the box.
Well, it's all part of the experience. So, for example, my husband already brought my lilies. He goes and sources lilies because those are my favorite. They're already, fragrancing the house upstairs. They've been here for a couple of days. He brought out his card. Then he's going to bring out the gift. I already picked it out, so I already know what it is. But I love it anyway. And I'm going to be. I already have his gift that I need to go box up. It's going to be very nice. The boys' little presents. I'm going to be wrapping them and putting them on the table. So tomorrow morning, when everybody wakes up, I'm going to decorate the table, some rose petals around everything. I'm not going to do the balloons just because it's a little kitschy, but it's going to look very festive when everybody wakes up in the morning, and then it's like Christmas. It's Christmas in February,
Honestly,
and yes, I can't wait. And I did get myself a present too.
You got yourself a Valentine. Well, it sounds like you got yourself 2 Valentine's presents because you got the thing that your husband is getting you.
Well, there you go. I mean, what's wrong with that? I love love. But even if we didn't do presents...
It sounds like you love presents.
Even if we didn't do presents, it would still be, it was this, we were just reminiscing. My husband woke up early with me this morning, and we were just reminiscing about how we first met and why we fit together like a puzzle piece. And, he said, the Lord made you for me and brought you into my life at a really nice moment. And, we're just reminiscing. And I think that's all a part of it.
Yes.
That means more to me than the fancy gift that I know is going to be under the Valentine's tree or Valentine's bouquet.
The Valentine's bush.
It's all part of that. So, folks, you don't have to spend money. Reminisce on why you love your loved ones.
So your husband is listening right now. He just heard you say that. So he's going to return the gift and say, well, I mean, but our reminiscing meant more to Patrice than this gift that cost us way too much money.
It actually does, but I still want my present.
Oh, all right. I see. All right. A little bit more on Valentine's Day and pushing back on the notion that because all the curmudgeon guys out there love to do that. They always love to, this is made up by Hallmark, so I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to explain why you should do something and why when your wife says Valentine's Day doesn't matter to her, she's lying. We'll get into that in a second. First, though, it's 5:15. I think you should go out of your way to try to be romantic. I'm sorry, and I do.
I agree.
I also think. So, what do you think of the guys that say, I don't need a special day to be romantic with my wife. I don't need this made-up Hallmark thing that's just meant to make money for for stores and the card shop people and the flower people. I'm a sweetheart and I'm romantic every day. What's your response?
Yeah,
to
right.
They're
lying. I do not believe that if you can't be romantic on Valentine's Day, that you're romantic 364 days of the year. That's probably the same person who doesn't want to spend money for a Christmas present, who barely remembers birthday and anniversary. What's that? So I know. I think there's something about stretching yourself and going beyond yourself for somebody else that you love, and that's part of a relationship, and especially part of the marriage covenant. So, you know what? Put your own selfish feelings aside for just at least one day and give your loved one something unexpected, which is an affirmation that Valentine's Day is important to them.
All right. Now, what about the women who say, "Oh, it doesn't matter to me. I don't need that. I'm not that kind of girl. I don't need to see."
She's doing this because she either is protecting herself from that significant other who doesn't want to celebrate the holiday, or she's just trying to
so everybody's
be passive aggressive too. I mean, it could be that, but I understand that perspective. I understand it.
I tend to agree with you on both counts. I have never met a woman, even the women who claim they don't want anything on Valentine's Day or anything on an anniversary. Oh, you don't have to get me anything. Well, I know I don't have to get you anything, but that's not the same as right. Yeah. I want you to want me to get you something, and every single time I get something for all of the women I've had in my life on a day like this, it always pays off. They're always very happy and very excited. Yes. I just don't believe the women who say this. I think they're saying it because they think the guy that they're with wants them to say that.
Well, and especially if you're back in the office setting, there is something about when a man sends a woman flowers to the office on Valentine's Day or their birthday. You score so many bonus points because of the spillover effect on the other coworkers and the friends and the moms that she's going to call her mom and say, "You can't believe what my husband just did."
Or even better, you take a picture and it shows up on your social media. And but see, Patrice, but you're validating what many men's concerns here is. That it has nothing to do with how I make my wife feel. It has to do with her being able to flex on all the other women in her life at the office.
That feeds into feelings too. And listen, there is something amorous about the Valentine's season. And so if you put your wife or your significant other in a amorous mood and a happy mood, there will be benefits for you too, gentlemen. I'm just saying, don't put her in a mean mood. I mean, that's not the...
You're making it sound a little transactional
strategically
now.
Here, I'm just trying to...
You're not wrong. Well, listen, this is why I tell the story about these jammies, because the second... It wasn't about Meredith being excited about Print Fresh jammies. It was her sister. Her sister was all excited. Oh, my, are those Print Fresh? No, they're not Print Fresh, but they're really nice. I'm like, oh, so now I'm getting her Print Fresh so she can text her sister and say, "Look what Larry got me, Print Fresh." I mean, that you're right. There is something about that whole, it's not competition, but it is. It is competition.
A little bit.
All right, so that's all good. Now, what about you mentioned kids and your boys are getting little present stuff. Don't you do a whole photo shoot or something with your family, or everyone gets you have a wardrobe picked up?
Well, I already have in mind what we're going to be wearing tonight for dinner. We're not going to eat dinner tomorrow night because I don't want to be the crowd, so we're doing it tonight. But we will already be dressed up in our coordinated outfits. At school this week, the boys have been wearing red for the past 2 days, so obviously. And then because they have classroom parties, we have been stuffing Valentine's Day goodie bags. Which I dropped a little bit more than I probably should have at Target on filling them up with stuff. It's a whole thing. It's
single-handedly bringing the economy back over here with Valentine's Day.
Trying to.
All right, so what about your trichodecaphobia, though? You're going to do all of this on Friday the 13th, and it is a very unlucky day. By the way, 2026 has 3 different Friday the 13th.
Really?
We've got February, we've got March, because March, of course, when there's only 28 days in February, perfectly mirrors whatever February looks like. And then November, we will have a November Friday the 13th as well. And this is considered a very unlucky day. So you're going to do all of this on Friday the 13th? Is it the good romantic vibes of Valentine's Day offset the gloom and doom of a Black Friday like this?
Absolutely. And plus, I really don't believe in the superstitions behind Friday the 13th. It's just fun, and it looks like Krispy Kreme is giving out some donuts. So, maybe go pick up a free donut. But I will cross a black cat's path. I will even run him over with my car if he doesn't move out of the way fast enough. To me, it's not a big deal.
Wow. So there's no superstition that you ever adhere to that it's just a superstition, but you do it anyway? Like walking under a ladder or stepping on the cracks in the sidewalk. That's not smart to do anyway.
I mean, why would you walk under a ladder when someone is hammering on the roof? Something can drop on your head. You walk around it. You see what I'm saying?
Saying Macbeth when you're backstage at a theater, you're fine with that? That's unlucky.
Okay, how often does that happen?
It used to happen to me all the time back in my old job. It's 5:23.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It's 5:37. Good morning. 13th day of February, as we just discussed in detail. Thanks for joining us. Coming up at 6:35, Nikki Neely of Defending Education. 7:05, Mark Mix, National Right to Work. And at 8:05, Steve Malloy talk about yesterday's big deregulation announcement lifting greenhouse gas rules that were, I think, unconstitutionally implemented in the first place by the Obama administration. We're going to get into all of that with Patrice Onwuka. Good morning, Patrice.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Larry.
So it was a big day yesterday for deregulation and for, as I just said, sort of reorienting the administrative state and what the executive branch can or should be doing unilaterally in terms of regulating our nation. The Trump administration, as promised, pulled back a ton of aggressive and unscientific and unilateral regulations that the Obama administration had implemented, all based on the Green New Deal, emission standards. They were really dictated by environmental groups and international bodies that other countries never really adhered to, and they were stifling our country's economy. The Trump administration has reversed all that. We'll get into some of the hysterical reactions to it, but let's just be clear on one thing. Barack Obama put out a statement on X yesterday about this, saying this is making our world less safe and it's poisoning our children, garbage like that. Lee Zeldin, the EPA administrator, gave a great response to it. He said the Obama administration couldn't get and everyone should remember this because I remember it. Obama administration couldn't get the votes needed in Congress to amend the Clean Air Act and regulate greenhouse gases. So basically, they went to Congress. They wanted legislation that would change the Clean Air Act, which is, was first implemented, I think, in 1972, I want to say. And it had to do with, smog and emissions, pollutants, particles in the air. They wanted to amend it and make carbon dioxide one of those pollutants, the thing that you naturally exhale on a regular basis. You may think that it has some effect on the planet's temperature. I'm still skeptical of that. But even if it's true, it may be one thing, but it's not a pollutant. To redefine the word pollutant for that would be outrageous. Congress said no. They couldn't get it done. So as Lee Zeldin continues, without hesitation, they decided to just ignore the law and jam through trillions in regulatory costs on the American people. Trump administration is proudly following the law, saving $1.3 trillion for the American people and lowering new car costs by over $2,400 per vehicle and getting rid of the climate participation trophy for manufacturers to install Obama switches that shut vehicles off at red lights and stop signs. All right, so here's the bottom line here. If you feel passionately about these carbon emissions and you really think it should be the law of the land, fine. I've got a quaint idea. Go through the process of debating it in Congress and passing it as a law instead of doing what the Obama administration did, which was an end around the law. So this is a great day. It's a great day for the environment. It's a great day for the economy, and it's a really great day for the Constitution.
Well, it is. I mean, Larry, listen, all of these efforts to so-called fight climate change, by implementing these unsustainable, costly climate policies, trying to get to net zero, whatever the case is. I mean, they never actually lowered emissions. They were really just another kind of form of virtue signaling among the in the corporate sector. And so those kill switches when you're sitting at a light and your car shuts off, those are so frustrating, number one. But number two, it really didn't do anything to help make the climate and the environment any better. And
That's
so
right.
folks just need to remember this. When you hear the talking heads screaming about how this is going to kill the atmosphere and kill the environment, no, it's not. Repealing, scaling back what Obama did and what Biden tried to enact is not going to hurt the environment. It's going to help the economy, and frankly, let the environment alone. Let life continue as needed, and we will be fine with CO2 in the air. Thank God we don't have smog in the air anymore, but we don't need to worry about the CO2 levels.
That's right. We have known that that CO2 is good for you pretty much since the beginning of time because it's literally plant food. Plants die if they don't get CO2. God created a really amazing sort of ecosystem here on the planet where we exhale exactly what plants need to inhale. So what did the Trump administration do? They repealed an EPA rule that classified carbon dioxide and 5 other so-called greenhouse gases as a threat to public health. The endangerment finding underpinned regulations that set emission standards for cars and light trucks, power plants, oil and gas industry facilities. It's one of the reasons why you haven't seen any development of oil and gas and refineries in this country because these regulations are so onerous. And you know who doesn't adhere to these regulations? Do you know who isn't trying to do this to their industry? China and India are our main manufacturing competitors.
Exactly. The biggest smog and polluters you can find on the planet.
That's right. And you won't hear anything from the environmentalists about that. You also won't hear anything from the environment. The environmentalists who were screaming yesterday at the White House in the cozy confines of an artificially warmed beautiful mansion there on Pennsylvania Avenue were screaming about how the planet is going to die and that this is ruining our environment. If they just walked outside that building and walked over to the Potomac, they would see tons and tons and tons of raw sewage dumped into the water thanks to the incompetence of the elected officials that they voted for, the Democrats in Washington, D.C. But you don't hear a peep from them about that. So don't tell me you care about the environment until I see you go skinny dipping in the Poop-tomic. It's 5:43. Another thing to celebrate is a brand new trade deal, this time with the nation of Taiwan. The United States Trade Representative's office yesterday announced the trade deal. Taiwan plans to increase long-term purchases of U.S. products, including $4.4 billion of liquefied natural gas and crude oil, $25.2 billion of U.S. power equipment, and $15.2 billion of U.S. civil aircraft and engines. That sounds like a pretty good deal with Taiwan, and of course also solidifies that relationship with a critically important nation with regard to the Pacific Rim and geopolitical maneuverings with the nation of Communist China. Most of Taiwan's exports to the U.S. right now are going to stay at are going to be reduced down to a 15% tariff rate. That's the same rate levied against other trading partners there, including Japan and South Korea. And the agreement comes right as the U.S. is still relying on Taiwan for a production of an enormous number of computer chips. Right now, Taiwan is exporting about $127 billion worth of chips. That really accounts for almost the entire trade imbalance with Taiwan. So Taiwan is going to be equalizing that out with the purchases of oil and civil aircraft and power equipment. I mean, it seems like a pretty good deal. Seems like a deal we wouldn't have gotten if Trump had not imposed his tariffs earlier in the year and sort of put pressure on these trading partners, even friendly trading partners like Taiwan.
Well, and if you think about the implications of this, Larry, this is a long-term play. Considering how we, as a country, we want to be a leader in AI technology and innovation generally, and so being able to have a strong trading partner like Taiwan, who's already sending to us the key components, computer components, semiconductor components, and other machinery. Apparently, they also source us with manufacturing equipment for vehicles, chemicals, and other consumer electronics. So this is going to be an important long-term relationship. And if we are getting to be able to open up their markets to our goods, which are a lot of energy-producing energy products, and then we're from them in exchange, we're getting the things that we need to lead in technology and innovation development, then it actually is a good deal going forward. Yeah. Listen, I know people hate tariffs. I have come to moderate my position on the tariffs because I've seen that they've served many different purposes under the Trump administration, both to give us fairer trade, but also to ensure that our goods can be fairly competed on in the world market by reducing a lot of those barriers that other countries impose on us. So we take their stuff with no qualms. They refuse to take ours, and I think that this whole tariff negotiation has been a way of really making trade fairer in lots of different ways, not just the headline tariff rate, but also in just the ability for us to trade equally in a way that we haven't before. So I've moderated on my position, and I definitely think that this is a good step forward.
Well, the other interesting thing here, Patrice, and I appreciate that, is sort of buried in the write-up here from CNBC, and that is that in exchange, Taiwan has agreed to remove or reduce 99% of its tariff barriers. In other words,
yes,
we were paying a tariff on everything going into their country, and there was no tariff for everything that they were exporting. And I understand that all the free traders are like, yeah, we shouldn't have any tariffs. But if the country we're trading with imposes tariffs on us, which then ends up prohibiting us from being able to export our goods to their nation because we can't compete, why shouldn't we sort of counterbalance that? And I understand the theoretical argument against it, where, well, that means that everything will cost more. But no. That is one way it could go. The other way it could go is the country says, oh, they're going to impose a tariff on us now. Maybe we should negotiate and we should remove our tariffs, and maybe we can reach some sort of, which is exactly what happened here. So now there's no tariff barrier for the exports from the U.S. going into Taiwan that had been there before and had been there for perpetuity. And we keep the 15% tariff, which seems to be the right mix because that's the tariff that the European Union had with Taiwan as well. So we're competing on an even playing field with our other trading competitors around the world. And I don't quite see what is so controversial about that, except for the free traders who continue to promote and elevate a utopia. And again, I get it. Listen, at heart, I'm a libertarian, free marketeer as well. But the only logical basis for promoting that sort of policy is to hold up a utopian world where if everyone stopped doing it, everything would be great. And they're right. But until everybody stops doing it, what are you supposed to do? You get screwed on the world stage is what you do, which is what we've been doing.
And I think some of these non-tariff barriers that we're talking about, things like licensing, labeling on products that countries have imposed, in part the United States allowed this to happen because we were giving leverage to these countries which were developing at the time to be able to say, okay, we want to see you grow, we want to see you flourish, we're going to allow you to put some barriers on your goods that you're sending over, that you're imposing some barriers on the ones that we want to send to you. If you don't want to take them, that's fine. You grow your economy, we'll still buy from you. But I think there comes a point where if you really want to have fair trade and free trade, that you're now saying, okay, countries, you're developed, you're competing globally. Let's now take kind of the wheels off of your bus, so to speak, or the trading wheels off your bicycle, and let you actually compete with us on a truly equal playing ground. And so this is what I think we're getting towards when we're saying, you know what, it's not fair that you're slapping these ridiculous quotas and licensing and labeling requirements on the things that we want to bring into your country just so that you can protect your industry, but we're not doing the same on the products that you're sending to us. And so that is really getting at really leveling the playing field when it comes to international trade.
That's what it seems like. All right, it's 5:53. Yeah.